What's up, guys? Mr. Fit to Flourish, and this is our weekly Stocks and Coffee with K5 Fit to Flourish, first team investing. And I got my Celsius in here, chilling like a villain. Let's get right into what's going on this week in the market and what did we just go through this past week. So pulling it up here, Stocks and Coffee, K5 Fit to Flourish. Today is November 3rd, 2024. Welcome. We always start with the quote. Quote today is, "Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you." So stay up, stay positive, because the outcomes in your life are a reflection of your thoughts. Okay? This week was Halloween, fun markets, scary markets, big earnings. We have the best team in the world in first team investing. We have a Discord, so feel free to join. Link in the bio here. If you're interested, or just follow the TikTok, follow us on YouTube here for the best educational material on stocks and options. We look at charts every night on the Discord. We trade live every morning, and we have a ton of classes. And great call outs as well. So in terms of our call outs this week, we had Apple puts, QQQ puts, Mario calls, SPY puts, SPY calls, Carvana puts, Marvel shorts, Reddit shorts, Google ER. So we had a Google earnings play on that one 100%. And in the markets, there's currently a ton of volatility and a ton of opportunity right now with elections coming up, FOMC rate cuts coming up. We had our trading masterclass the other week. We have our options intro masterclass. We've already done quite a few iterations of this. It's a really great class. It's a 3 to 4 hour classes, all on how to trade. And it transforms everybody's trading all the time. In terms of earnings this week, let's get into earnings. What happened? So, Google. Number one, Google. They smashed expectations with a 15% revenue surge to 88.3 billion, beating both growth and margin forecasts, driving its share price jump by 7%. Okay, so its share price jumped by 7%, going from around 169 all the way up to $181 at its peak. Currently, Google had filled that gap. Google doesn't like to leave gaps, so it came all the way back down recently. But the revenue rose by 13% to 76.5 billion, fueled by robust demand in search, YouTube, and platform subscriptions. So Google's heavy AI investments are bringing tangible value to customers and partners, and that's what we're seeing. Google also announced, this is huge, this always drives share prices up. Whenever you announce a cash dividend, so their cash dividend of 0.2, so 20 cents per share, this is huge. It drives investors to want to actually invest in your company, and they're like, hey, I could put my money here and my money will make money for me. This is great stuff. In terms of Microsoft actually did beat on EPS and revenue, driven by a 33% surge in Azure cloud revenue, surpassing market forecasts. But it tanked 6% the following day. Like, what the heck? It was up 1% right after hours when they reported earnings, but then it tanked 6% the next day. So what happened? Was it guidance? Well, they already said that they're spending a ton of money on AI, but they said they're going to spend even more, which is kind of eating into their profits. So this is a little bit concerning for investors. In terms of Meta, so Meta beat EPS and revenue, but again, they actually sold off a little bit as well. Their AI spend is concerning investors where the costs are already high. So kind of in the same boat as Microsoft. What's going on with Amazon? Well, Amazon beat EPS by 25%. Holy moly. Amazon, slow down. Jeez. Revenue was beat by $1.6 billion. That's 1.6 billy jeans. That's insane. So Amazon's cloud and ad growth boost their Q3 profit. Shares surged 7.3%. So Amazon was actually trading around like $184 and actually surged all the way to $200. And it's kind of stuck at that 200 psychological level, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Apple also had earnings. So pretty much all of the Big Mag 7 stocks had earnings this week. And they missed on EPS, get this, by 40%. 40%, okay, but beat on revenue. So the stock actually dipped from 232 all the way down to the 221 key level. So below 221, it's cooked. So 221 is currently a neckline. Getting below that would be a break of structure in terms of the technical analysis, and it would drive the price down to 213. So be on the lookout for a break below 221. Of the Mag 7 stocks, Apple AI is targeted at consumers directly, while other Mag 7s are targeting AI use primarily for businesses. Okay, so that's the big difference there with AI usage from Apple as well compared to other companies. This is what Maxim's group analyst had to say. They said, it is difficult for us to discern if we are in the early innings of an AI-fueled supercycle for iPhone upgrades, and the iPhone sales is off to a very slow start. So very concerning for Apple currently. Now, AMD, what happened with AMD? So they beat on revenue and had a slight miss on EPS. It's down 14% since the open on Wednesday. So what happened? So the data center segment was up 122%. Gaming segment was down 69%, almost 70%. Okay. Analysts are satisfied with AMD's growth in AI chip development to rival its competitor, NVIDIA. So soon they'll be able to kind of rival NVIDIA. However, analysts are noting that investors' ambitions may be overly ambitious. As you've seen, NVIDIA's been killing earnings and guiding UFOs and freaking earnings to the moon, trillions of dollars expectations. So if AMD doesn't provide some blowout guidance, then investors are going to sell. Okay, there's going to be a sell-off. All right, especially when you see stocks trajectory moving upward into earnings. To keep that trajectory, that same trajectory, your guidance, first of all, you're gonna have to beat on revenue and EPS, and then your forward guidance is gonna have to be insane, especially in this day and age of hype stocks and hype investors and AI. All right. So in terms of economic data this week, we had PCE, so year over year came in line with expectations, month over month in line. The unemployment rate in line with expectations. Jobless claims slightly below. Payroll data was the worst that we've seen in about 4 years, which increases the chances of a 25-point cut. All right, so keep that in mind. FOMC coming up very soon. Now, in terms of news and buzz, so the S&P 500 had 2 red weeks, back to motherfreaking back. What's going on? So analysts expect the S&P to hit 630. So about 630 in the next 12 months. And since 1933, the S&P 500 has averaged 12.9% annual return when Republicans controlled both the White House and Congress, 9% when Democrats controlled both. Why am I saying this? Why are we looking at this? Well, we have elections coming up on Tuesday, November 5th. So keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. How do the elections affect the markets? Well, typically on election years, the S&P 500 is up 7%. So just keep this on the lookout, keep it on the back burner in your mind for what may come based on decisions that are made on the macro perspective. Now, SMCI, what happened with SMCI? SMCI plunged 45%, which pretty much wiped out the entire year's gains. This is insane. What's going on? So their auditor resigned. So that doesn't look good. This is the second auditor lost in a year. And we already are still waiting on that 10K report. So they're saying that they're cooking the books. They might actually be cooking the books if their auditor resigned, okay? So they say, SMCI says that they will provide a business update on Tuesday after hours. So their earnings report is due Tuesday after hours. Whether or not they actually have one, man, this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be absolutely crazy. So the company's shares closed at $26, wiping out all of the gains for 2024. The stock peaked this year in March at $118.81. Now keep in mind, it used to be $1,000, so $1,188 was the price in March, and right now we're at the equivalent of $260. Okay. And then Meta was developed an AI search engine to lessen reliance on Google and Microsoft. This news actually came out on, I believe, Tuesday, which caused Google to have a slight dip before earnings. And then Amazon, we talked about Amazon. Amazon had a huge earnings report beat, but it's currently stuck at what we call the Bezos docking zone. What is that? Well, it's the $200 psychological level. So Jeff Bezos is actually plans to sell 16.4 million Amazon shares worth $3.05 billion. That's a Billie Jean right there. $1 billion. All right. So we're stuck at that $200 level. Every time it hits $200, Bezos sells. And what is he selling for? Well, he's building an island in Miami. Well, he moved to Miami and he's buying a ton of property down there. So he has other things in mind. And what's happening with Carvana? Well, Carvana destroyed earnings. Apparently, Carvana destroyed earnings. Okay, and the used car market has been pretty horrible. So what's really going on? Is it Put City? I don't know, but in my opinion, Carvana jumped freaking 10. What was it? 200 to 20. Yeah, Carvana jumped almost 20% really. With earnings. So what's going on? So they are doing really well apparently, but is it Put City? So they were accused of fraud in May, but that was never actualized. And then currently there's rumors of an incoming Hindenburg report with Carvana. Why is the stock moving up so quickly? Is it a hype stock? Are they really doing that well? In my opinion, I'm gonna leave my opinion alone. But anyways, yeah, so there's rumors of an incoming Hindenburg report. That's yet to be seen. There is a massive gap to the upside, so just keep that on the lookout. Keep it in your radar. All right. So Nvidia is joining the Dow, and it's going to join November 8th. So Nvidia closed at about $135 per share on Friday, and then after hours moved up to about $138 to $139. And it's going to be replacing INTC, which is Intel. Intel joined 25 years ago. Shares of Nvidia are up 220% so far this year, while shares of Intel are down 38%. So VST is to join the Dow on November 8th as well. They're going to be replacing AES. They also have earnings this week, so be on the lookout for that. And this was initiated to ensure a more representative exposure to the independent power producers and renewable electricity producers in the industry. Okay. We also had some news this weekend from Iran's supreme leader on Saturday. Threatened Israel and the U.S. with a crushing response. This is kind of scary here. A crushing response over attacks on Iran and its allies. So keep that on the lookout. And then former President Donald Trump and some of his top allies have increasingly embraced and spread anti-vaccine rhetoric typically linked to former independent presidential candidate and vaccine skeptic Robert F. Kennedy. Lilly and Pfizer were down on Friday. So this could have implications for some of the big pharma companies, Pfizer, Moderna, Lilly, BioNTech. So just keep that on the lookout and keep that in your mind as well. Bitcoin hit close to all-time highs around 73,624. All-time highs were 73,835 back in March. Currently trading around 69K. If Trump wins, many are expecting Bitcoin to rise due to his favorable policies he's promised to implement. And then Bitcoin is expected to really keep breaking out into the end of the year. So when you're looking at Bitcoin, keep a lookout on stocks like MSTR and Coin. And Robinhood is actually allowing betting on election odds, and you're allowed to bet and win up to $5,000. And this is going to be paid out in January. Am I going to be doing this? Hell no. $5,000 and I have to wait till January? No thanks. I can make $5,000 in a day or two and get it today. So I'm not doing that. But anyways, it's pretty cool that you'll be able to bet $5,000 up to $5,000 and bet on the elections. It's pretty cool. And then we talked about the New York Stock Exchange hours changing. So currently it's 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. But there's a proposal for it to change from that to 1:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m., which is going to be 22 hours a day, 5 days a week. Alrighty, it's earnings season. Who is reporting earnings this week? We have BioNTech, PLTR, HIMS, SMCI on Tuesday. Ooh, man. We have Novo Nordisk, CVS, ARM, AMC, APP, which is AppLovin. AppLovin has been on a rip. It's up over 120% in, I think, a month or two. Just over 2 months. Qualcomm, we have Vistra, Moderna, Datadog, Airbnb, Affirm, and DraftKings, okay? And then in terms of economic data, not really much except for jobless claims really on Thursday. And then our watch list, we're gonna keep MSTR on watch as well, and Coin, and then of course SPY, the Qs, and Nvidia. And then look out for November 5th. We have elections. November 7th, the FOMC rate decision, and then Nvidia earnings on the 20th. So Hopefully you guys enjoyed this session of our Stocks and Coffee. Every week we go over this in the Discord and we go into way more detail, but a lot of good stuff upcoming this week, a lot of stuff that we've seen and put behind us. However, let's keep winning in the markets. Let's keep making smart decisions, waiting for opportunity, because there's a ton of opportunity right now. And when the name of the game when trading options is opportunity. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. It's Mr. Fit to Flourish, your boy. I'm out. Good morning, welcome to the Fit to Flourish podcast. Let's talk wellness, finance, and growth.